you've been to some fireplaces. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. If I hadn't seen such riches, I could live with being poor. Oh, sit down, oh, sit down, oh, sit down, sit down next to me. Sit down, 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 in sympathy.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I hope this is going to be an interesting show. I think we're going to start it in a different fashion tonight. I'm still waiting for Mr Bee4 Life and Kyle. I don't think Gracie will be here because she's having internet problems. Oh, here's Kyle now. Evening, Kyle. Hope you're well.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you, sir? I was a bit.
Hey, guys. Hope you well. Hope you well, mate.
Living my best life. What can I say?
Good.
All good. All good.
Yeah, we're gonna.
We'll see you at the Everton game. Me and Dave.
Oh, right. That's right. Yeah, because the game's on March the 1st. That's right. Yeah. That's right.
We'll
That's
see you.
definitely good to see.
The flights are booked. The hotel is booked, so we're on the way.
Good man. Good man. Good man. And it's about 3 weeks' time. 3 weeks' time today. 3 weeks today.
Should be good.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Get some of these comments. Two guys have been having a great conversation here. Joseph Gatsby, honestly, the atmosphere this year rivals any year at Highbury. We are back.
Interesting.
I wonder how many times you ever went to Highbury, because I doubt you ever did. And Joseph says it really is my second home. Best stadium in the world, bar none. Joseph, how many world stadiums have you been to? Have you been to the Bernabeu? Any? Would you like to answer the question? Because that's a big, bold statement to make. And my good old friend Phil, possibly Pete, we don't budge, Joseph. Jez is a fake fan who is solely dedicated to giving Arsenal abuse. Yeah, well. You tell me that when you supported him for 54 years, mate, and we'll have a chat.
No, it's just an act. It's just an act.
He's been acting for 54 years. Phil says he was essentially set up a hate mob alongside Lee Gunner. Together, they have roped in young fans and impressionable, vulnerable people to appear alongside them on the show. Really?
Hello, Peter.
Honestly. Jez tried to mock me the other day on Lee's channel. I never mentioned you. As I said, we should forget about our history and remove reminders at the stadium so we can focus on the new team. Okay, that sounds like a certain regime that was in Germany back in the 40s, personally. Phil says, do you know if that's his granddaughter he is manipulated and has on regularly? You mean Gracie-Mae? I've never ever met her in my life. Never seen her. And I met Gracie on Lee's channel, and she's a very intelligent young lady, Philip, who has a brain that she can actually make up adult decisions. So,
and also, why is Philip bringing up this girl? Like, why are you fascinated with her, Philip, or something? Like, we didn't bring up Gracie. No, why, Philip? Why are you bringing her up? What you know? Something you want to tell us?
I think what it is that we got fans who just want to get things off their chest. They just want to start problems and not there. You know, they're not happy unless there's conflict amongst the fans. You know, because I think, you know, what's happening is that we're playing well, very good season. We're richly enjoying ourselves, but some people just think, you know, as far as they're concerned, that the only people allowed to enjoy this season are people who are fully fledged behind the manager. But you know, and he's just doing it for attention. That gets a few views and gives him comments. But You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not. It's couldn't be further from the truth what he said.
No.
Well, I just like to say, Phil, I'm not a vulnerable person, and Jez Collins don't have me on his show to agree with what Jez's opinion is. I'm an Arsenal fan 37 years, so I say what I say, and that's my opinion. And if you have anything to say, show your face, come on one of these shows, and let's have a chat. Don't be a keyboard warrior, man.
Exactly. But to wipe out all the history, that is just your minded, mate. Now is Gracie. Actually, let me just introduce Gracie. Hi, Gracie. Hope you're well.
Hello.
Gracie.
Sorry, I'm late.
You're my granddaughter, apparently, and I've indoctrinated you.
Well, yeah, that would be a bit weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be a bit weird considering I've never met you. There we go. Never mind.
Nice.
And this one, Kenny, I'm going to come to you with this one. Jez is jealous because Julian took his spot on AFTV. Same reason Lee and Kenny are bitter because they also got sacked. Kenny, do you ever remember me on AFTV?
Before, as I said before, off camera, you know, people like yourself, right? You know, and you know, sort of fans who've been there for years and local. You know, you wouldn't touch AFTV with a barge pole because the simple reason is that you wouldn't have anything in common with these guys who you know clearly, you know, like I said, have been entrenched with what goes on with the channel. They love to be recognised, and they, you know, what's happening is that, you know, they're not going to say no when TV producers wave money at them and say, oh, by the way, we want you to be representatives of the fans. They're going to take it. You know, people like you have never have got nothing in common with that, because you, as far as you're concerned, you go to the games and have a chat in the pub. You've always been that kind of fan. I was that kind of fan, and I kick myself every time for going on that channel because it was never me. And if I could just wipe out my past and wipe out every interview I did in that channel, I'd do it. So for you to say that I'm bitter because we got sacked, no, let's get it right. Me, myself, and Lee want nothing to do with that channel. We you know, we can only say to ourselves that, I don't know, but Lee, maybe Lee enjoyed his time, but I never enjoyed my time on that channel once, Bill, and I kicked myself because I made the right decision to stop going on it in 2016, and I kicked myself for agreeing to go back on it. So those are two boots up the arse that I give myself. But right, all I can do is look for the future, Philip, and just say, thank God that I'm enjoying my football. That's how I look at it. I'm enjoying my football. You know, as far as I'm concerned, you know, I'm still going to be part of the football club with or without AFTV. I don't need the AFTV to be an Aguna. I was there a long time before any of them were there, with the exception of probably Ty.
Exactly.
I've got no bitterness whatsoever. I'm bitter because I made a prat of myself by going on it in the first place. So you're right. I'm bitter about that, and I'm bitter at myself, not at them.
Exactly. And Craig, AFC 87, panel big up. Can you wish my daughter Tiana a happy birthday tomorrow? Happy birthday, Tiana, tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Tiana.
Have
Happy
a great
birthday.
day.
Birthday, Tiana.
Many happy returns.
Have a great day. And we're going to move on. But Philip, I'm sure this is Pete, Gracie. Fully agree. Arteta will be our Ferguson. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll hold you to that one, because you're also, both of these chaps are talking about when will the open top bus parade be? Got to win it first, didn't we? Back in my time, Kenny, we had to win something first.
Well, it's the same sort of thing, mate. You know what I mean? Clubs who finish second don't get parades. I've never seen them get parades for anything. So when we win the league, there'll be parade. But I'll tell you one thing, Phil, I can guarantee you won't be at that parade, mate.
Yeah. And Jez, is Lee living in Spain out of fear? Surely he misses the games if he's such a big fan. He's not living in fear, mate. And he's
loving life by the looks of it.
I'll tell you what, he's got a nicer life than we have over here. And I'm sure I'm sure Philip, he won't be scared of you, mate. That is for sure. So strange. He must think people are stupid. Oh, now we're talking about Kenny's background. Living in a millionaire's mansion, Kenny, and you're trying to con people that that's your house. Are you that thick? Are you that thick? Cannot see that.
He's upset because he's upset because we're not. He's trying to intimidate us into not saying what we have to say about the club and doing podcasts. He would like us to disappear. And what I can do is I'm sure I've got a few numbers on the fan cams that I can maybe get you looking. Maybe you can do the overseas version or get you to a game and you can go on the channel. I'm sure they'll do it for you. And I also know some of the other podcasters that you watch as well. I can get you an appearance on there. Just have to ask nicely and promise to apologise for your behaviour and I'll get you on. No problem. I know them well.
I mean, Philip, you're more than welcome to come on here tonight and state your case. I'm sure you won't, but you're more than welcome. But we'll get on to some proper chats now. And we'll go from there. But I'm just scanning through. I've got to catch up. There's so many chats in it. It's unbelievable. Jez Lee hate Arteta because he made a career in football because they failed to do so. I never had any intention of being a footballer. I was crap at football. And I had a bigger ambition than that. But both are failed refs. Lee was never a referee. I was actually quite high standard, actually. But let's move on. I'm getting bored with that crap now.
He's brilliant.
Yeah, he's a comedian. Phil, you should go on the stage, man. You should contact Peter Kay, man. You'll be fine. And let's now have a go at Steve, shall we? The American is creepy. There you go, Steve.
It's actually Yank. Thank you. That's my actual. It's Yank, not American.
Yeah.
Well, get it right if you're going to slander me. Come on now.
Yeah. Have we lost Gracie? Yeah. Carl Rossi, Jez, Kyle, and Kenny. Anyway, guys, I'll get to the top of the chat here because we will move on and get into some proper talk. TJ Warren, big up all folks coming over from Lee's ticket price lecture. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that as well because I've got the man here who has the inside information. Anyway, we'll have a very quick chat. Arteta got diced again at Everton, and we all saw the game. Very disappointing. Very unfortunate. If we had won that game, we'd have been 8 points clear, but sadly we're not. We're 5 with a game in hand, which is still good. Kyle, what was your view, mate, on that game?
I say you saw my video of my reaction on Del Boy Show, and then I had my own reaction on my own channel just after that game. I was absolutely fuming. I was fuming for a couple of days later. And I had lads actually contacting me saying that I'm overreacting. Now, I want to go overreacting. I'm scared. A few things showed me that, first of all, the way we were outclassed and the way we were bullied and the way we were intimidated and the way we lost the game. I don't mind losing the game, Jace, but the way we lost that game was absolutely shocking. People say, but your new manager, everything be up for the game, blah, blah, blah. Sure, we have enough motivation. We're going on to try to win the Premier League. Is that not enough motivation to beat anything? So I was disappointed with the way we showed up. Players went missing. Your Price Odegaard, he goes missing in every game that he's priced in. Martinelli was isolated out on the left. So I could see a lot of problems there. So let's hope that we can get our stuff together and beat Brentford on Saturday. Get back to winning ways, because that's 2 on a bounce now that we're after losing. So we need to fight back now on Saturday. If not, I think we're in serious bother.
Yeah, good point, man. Kenny, we had a chat about it, didn't we? Fan cams, player ratings, and on Monday evening. I'm sure you were as disappointed in that result as I was. Where do you think it went wrong, mate?
I think what happens is that it went wrong because simple reason is that ultimately we made ourselves very difficult, made it very easy to sort of like contain because, we were very, very predictable. Dice would have watched the Man United game and he would have also watched the Newcastle game and he would have seen two things he would have looked at is how Newcastle contained us, how they doubled up on Saka and Martinelli, and how they scrambled us for room, and they made sure that they had their best runners in the team, where they basically matched us, like yard for yard. Where a lot of the times we score goals in the last minute because we keep on running, going. We don't have an empty. We keep on running, and what Dice done is that he looked at the Man United game when Man United came to play, and he looked at first thing he did. He looked at that, how Xhaka, gets down our left hand side because Shevchenko gives him the space and puts those crosses in. Wasn't happening, man. It wasn't happening. Even if Eddie was going to make runs in the box, they made sure that that ball wasn't getting in there. Another thing as well, to just get in their faces with our midfielders, because and made sure that they outrun us. If they did that, they were always going to sort of get some out of the game. But let's face it, they had the better chances as well because, they earned their right to play as well. When they did get forward, they supported Calvert-Lewin really well. How we wasn't coping with that, to the extent that, because our midfielders lost a physical battle, they couldn't get back to help out our defenders. But let's face it, our defenders didn't do too badly. It was one corner, apart from that, and there was a few clear-cut chances. But second half, they looked solid. But by that time, it was game over. So maybe Arsenal need to, two things they need to do: get a plan B, and also see if they can get Jesus back as quickly as possible. Because at the moment, against teams, we can't unlock the door.
I see that he was in light training on the pitch, Kenny Jesus. So that's a positive. Gracie-Mae, haven't spoken to you. I have a new name for you, granddaughter, apparently. I'm sure you maybe want to tell your mum about that.
I know. I think she's going to be a bit of a shock, considering my granddad passed away last year. So I don't think it's possible, right, to have another one. But yeah, no, you're my granddad now, Jez. Apparently
so. Yeah.
Apparently.
Anyway, Gracie, you saw that game. We haven't chatted about it since that day. What's your view?
Oh, it was just poor all around. Really, it was slow. There was just nothing. We just had nothing to offer, and it's funny how these people sit here and tell me how good Eddie Nketiah is. Well, where was he? He can't make a run with the ball. It's like this guy. I know the striker position, you do loiter around the box, you do look for those tap-ins, but that's his extent of goals. But no, from everyone, just Saka was probably the only guy that tried. Then we took Odegaard off, and that was it. Literally from the first 5 minutes, you could just tell there's no way we're winning this game. We were just on the back foot the whole time. Couldn't get past Everton's defence. It's classic, like old Burnley football, really. It's Sean Dice parking the bus big time, and the goal we conceded should never have been conceded. Ridiculous. It's Odegaard's mistake. It's his fault. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting to. Well, I was expecting to win, but I'm not expecting to win every single game. I'm going to be honest. There's going to be games like Everton, United at the start of the season. There's going to be those games. We can't win every single game. Well, we can, but not this team. So it's just, I don't know. It was just a weird game. It's like we reverted back to old seasons like last season, and I was sitting there watching the game and I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, we've gone from being on form, and this is exactly why I said I wanted to win the Manchester City game, because it puts us that mentality of, we've lost a game to City, and then that can have an effect on the games after. But Everton, as you said, Jez, new manager bounce, liking the new tactics, trying their best to impress the new manager, and we just didn't provide enough. Eddie Nketiah, for me, you know, as soon as Jesus is back, Jesus walks back in. Unpopular opinion, but he walks back in. You can see it's definitely what we need. But you know, Trossard, he tried his best when he came on, and still wasn't good enough. So, yeah, it was a very disappointing game, I would say. Very disappointing.
Yeah, I must be. I wasn't at all surprised the way that Everton set out. This is Sean Dyche. He likes his players to bully other players. He's done it with Burnley against us. Game when they beat us at the Emirates, the first time in about 3,500 years. But it is what it is. Steve, did you see the game, mate?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I honestly, I think in the 15th, I was on a watch along with Tony Claude, Gunner TV. Go subscribe to him. Obviously, you guys know him. But I think around 20th minute, I was like, first goal wins the game. It's that kind of game. It's not a high scoring game. Whoever scores first wins. Simple as that. Because and honestly, Everton, what they did, there were three words. It was discipline, hunger, and desire. Really, sorry, not desire. I'd say aggressiveness. I thought they were more aggressive than you. I thought they wanted it more than you, and I thought they were more disciplined than you. Mentally, I think towards the end, Zinchenko was getting into it with, I think it was Mope. I think Everton, they just got your number for whatever reason, at Goodison in particular. But it was, definitely an off day for you guys. But you do need to come up with something else besides the winger going down the wings, because, you know, you can easily double up, use the touchline as that third defender, or even triple up sometimes. And then where's the service going into? And then if Nketiah gets something, you know, he's skying it. I think there were like 4, 5, 6, 7 chances where it was straight up skied. You had a shot on target. It might have been a half chance, but you completely skied it. Nowhere near on target. I think that's what killed you too. I think Odegaard did it once or twice. So definitely an off day. And again, it goes back to the whole FA Cup thing. Well, why did you throw that away? This league title is not by any means, a done deal or anything. Like, we still got a lot to go. I think you guys will win it, but that's the thing. I'm a fan. Your players can't have that mentality where it's like, oh, we've won the league. And then now with the Man City news coming out, and they weren't, already they were showing some real iffy signs of performances and whatnot throughout the year past like October. It was just like, what? Why are they losing this game and this game? So you gotta be careful. No complacency. That was the other thing. Thought you guys were complacent on Saturday, honestly. I mean, Sean Dyche, and for as non-attractive as the football was, they were direct. They could have had 2 in that first half. The wide open header from Doucouré, and then Calvert-Lewin had a half chance, I believe, too. So they were at that. Not only were they playing more defensive, they had, I think, 7 shots in that first half alone, and you had 2. So yeah, ultimately they might get the great escape with that rubbish squad, but that's what Dyche does. He gets the most out of players, and Arteta on that day didn't get the most out of his players. So that's really all I got to say about it.
Certainly didn't. I've seen today, Kenny, you've got the inside knowledge on this. Arsenal increased ticket prices. Now,
yes,
you're a season ticket holder, and I'm not fully conversant with what's happening here, but is it something I'm led to believe? Is it something about they're reducing or giving you a discount, or they're giving you credit back for next season on games that are not?
No. What it is that what it is over the last few seasons, Arsenal haven't done as well as we'd like in the FA Cup, and we haven't had any home fixtures of such. The last home fixture we had in the FA Cup was in I don't think we haven't had a home fixture in the FA Cup probably since 2017. That if you can run, probably since 2017.
Newcastle.
So basically, yeah. So 2017. It was Lincoln. Was it new? No, we haven't had a home fixture in the FA Cup since Newcastle 2021. But
Andy Carroll.
before Newcastle 2021, we haven't had a home fixture in the FA Cup. It was Lincoln in the quarterfinals in 2017, the season we won it. So basically, what the situation is that back in the day, what we've had for the last few years, we've had cup credits for 26 games. So basically, you get your 19 home games and you get 7 cup credits. So basically, that covers the UEFA competitions and the FA Cup. The League Cup doesn't get covered. So basically, that way, if you have any cup games during that period, that is part of your season ticket vouchers. And if you go over your voucher, the club will give you the ticket automatically, but they'll put the cup voucher on your season ticket price. But if you don't use all your cup credits, they got to refund you your cup credits. So last season, I got a refund because I got a refund because our cup credits, because of we won in the league in the European Cup, Europa League, we only got 22 cup credits, but this season we got our usual 26. So they gave me my money back for a cup credit. This season, if because we're not in we went out the FA Cup and played 2 away games. Out of the 7 cup credits, if we get in the last 16 and get in the quarterfinals and get to semi-finals, they're going to have to owe me 1 cup credit back, and that means they either give me the money or it would get its reduction on next season ticket prices. So what they're saying, there's no guarantee that if we get the fans to pay for those extra games as part of the package, we're gonna have all these fixtures. So basically, they're saying we can't keep on refunding our fans. That's all they're saying, but they're not telling the members of the public that, because members of the public who are not season ticket holders think that they're doing. The reason why they're cutting their tickets is because they want to make tickets available to other fans. But the fact is that they're actually not making tickets available to other fans, because when these games come along, they'll contact me as a season ticket holder and give me first priority in having my seat. So if all these season ticket holders say, yeah, I'm going to those games, then there's nothing any of these people in the queue can do about it, because they're going to have the same sort of problem. But what's happening is that they can't give us cup credits because if those games don't go ahead, because they're dependent on our progress in Europe and progress in the FA Cup. So in a way, they've got a point, but to try and dress it up and say they're providing extra ticket for fans, well, you're providing extra ticket for fans when these games will never happen, may never happen. Because our manager may not take the cup seriously. He won't take the Champions League or Europe seriously. But it's all a probability. It's like, what do I call it? It's like a commission basis, isn't it? You work for a company, and rather than give you a salary, they say, oh, you know what, you earn such and such money or bring this much business, and then we'll pay you for what you bring in. There's no guarantee you're getting a commission, just like the cup credits. There's no guarantee you're getting them. But the way the club are dressing it up is that they think that they're doing everyone a favour. But they're only coming to lines with every other club. Like, for instance, all this nonsense about Arsenal being the most expensive ticket. Yeah, it's the most expensive ticket because they give you 26 games. But the other clubs get only the league games. They got to have vouchers to get the cup games, where they have the same option. They'll get the first dibs. And I think they're just coming in line with other clubs. You're going to have a situation where maybe in about a season or two, you're just going to play for your 19 home games, and then you've got to apply for the cup games like as normal. So it's all what they're trying to do is to maybe give other fans more tickets, because I know that the League Cup, they're definitely going to get a lot of fans who don't go to games going to those games, because season ticket holders won't go to those League Cup games because they've been there and their friends haven't turned up, or they think there's going to be low crowds. So it's harder and harder for the club to say anything but the truth. But the truth is, don't listen to anything they got to say. It's because they don't want to refund fans for vouchers that, you know, for games that don't materialise. It cost them probably about, you think about how many season ticket holders you got. If you have to give every season ticket holder about between £70 and £80, times that by 38,000. If you've got 38,000 season tickets, that's a lot of dough. That's nearly about £4 million they got to give back to fans.
Yeah,
they don't want to do it.
No. Thanks for that, Kenny. That's explained it to me. I wasn't fully conversant for what was going down. But just answer Phil, good old Phil. Jez, when will you back Arteta if he wins the Premier League? I'll say I was wrong until he does. No. Warren's team tour. Hi, goes. Hope you're well. Gracie says, Philip, would you like to come on the stream? And Phil answers, no, I don't want to be a YouTuber. You don't have to be a YouTuber, mate. You just come on and stay in peace. But you're a keyboard warrior and you haven't got the balls. So if you ain't got nothing to say, F off. Warren's team tour, I think they are trying to raise money to pay for all of these dodgy deals. Well, Kenny's explained it exactly as it is. So that's a fact. Anyway, I want to move on and talk about dodgy deals. Mr. Bee still trying to get on the in trouble with his devices, unfortunately. Mr. B, if you can hear me, mate, on StreamYard, you have to click camera and cam, or just click sorry, not camera and
mic access.
Yeah, so I know you said last night you didn't want to show your face. That is fine. You just need to pop the voice bit on, man. You need to click those buttons. Carl Ross says, Gracie-Mae, no problems, mate. And Joseph says, so proud of the club. We have stuck it to this process. Even though it's taken a while to get to this point, we didn't cheat like Man City and take shortcuts. We are a world-class club. Well, okay, that's an interesting point. We'll move on to that. We'll briefly touch on this. Manchester City accused of breaking over 101 rules. That's what I've read. And that's only what I've read on Sky Sports. It's an interesting situation, this. And I'll come to you. I'm going to come to you, Gracie, on your view on this. I'll give you my view. If they do get charged and found guilty, and I think this is going to be quite a long, protracted process, personally, I cannot see them getting kicked out of the league at all. I just don't see that. Personally, my view is it will be major fine, maybe not allowed to buy anybody or sell anybody for 2 seasons, and maybe starting a new season on a 10-point negative balance of points. Gracie, what's your point of view?
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, we've seen this before. Back off the UEFA. From what I understand, the Premier League conducted their own investigation on top of the UEFA investigation because they didn't agree with it getting overturned. Because they were meant to be banned from competitions for 2 years, and obviously they wiggled their way out of that one. But from what I understand, the Premier League actually have proof now that this has been happening. So, I mean, let's be honest. What's a fine going to do to a club like Manchester City? It's going to do absolutely nothing. You can what are you going to do? Fine them 50 million? Not even one of their some of their players are worth more than that. So for me, that's out of the question. And then, you could, in theory, you could stop them from buying anyone, but then you've got the problem of, well, they've got everything they need. Look at their squad. Their squad is ginormous. You know, what's the difference going to make if they can't buy anyone? Have you seen some of the players they've got on their bench? Some of the players on their bench would be our starting 11 on its own. So I mean, it's a tricky one. don't get me wrong, relegation is definitely on. It is on the cards because if you look at it, if it's over a 15-year period, and they have won titles off the back of this. Premier League clubs are not just gonna, they've won 3 Premier League titles in that. That's potentially preventing someone else from winning because of this and this. But I think the main problem is it's because it was systematic. They've systematically known they are doing this, and they've systematically tried to hide it across this stretch of time. And it's not like it's just a little couple of years, or it's not like what Chelsea had. We're talking all over. We're talking over this long period where they've won titles. We all say it all the time. Oil money Man City every time. So it's very much like, yeah, you could fine them, you could ban them, but for me, something needs to happen to where they look back and go, oh, we really messed up here. And that's going to make them not do it again. Because what's to say after they've paid the Premier League 50 million, what's to say they'll just do it again? Because they'll be like, oh, we'll just get a fine. It's fine.
You could fine them $1 billion and it wouldn't make it.
It wouldn't matter. So yeah, it's a tricky one, very tricky one.
Sorry about that, people. That happened the other day. I don't know why. So he just kicks me out. It's very weird situation. I do apologise.
Yeah. It's had enough of us, Jez. StreamYard has had enough of us putting across our point.
It's obviously Phil. He's obviously happy. Anyway, Steve, the Yank, as we got to call you, the American. What's your view from over there in the good old US of A? What's your view on this situation?
I mean, I think the rule is dumb, right? Like, I think because I watched Terry and Lee Gunner, they had a debate on it, and like Lee thinks it's kind of BS, but he still says they should get relegated, whatever. There should be big punishment. I agree with that because it is in the rule book, right? But I would like to see FFP be unrestricted, and like Terry said, I don't know if you guys saw, but he said if a club wants to throw around, a hell of a lot of money, how about you double that and put it in a bond where you can't touch it, and the Premier League has that money, so that if you decide to just leave the club, the club can still pay the operating costs, the player salaries, the everything that goes into running a football club, the expenses. So I think if that was a thing, sure. But I mean, they do kind of have to make an example out of Man City to an extent. But I do think the rule is dumb, to be honest, because I think why not? If you spend if you have money available to you, why not? You want to make your football club better? Why not? I think that makes the Premier League a more attractive product, because then it's truly like, okay, every single team could spend loads and loads and loads of money. Every single team. The prestige, just because a Fulham isn't as prestigious as an Arsenal, Man United, whatever, Liverpool, any of that stuff, like they should still, if they have money available to them, yeah, maybe some money would help. So, I mean, for me, it's just like, yeah, it looks like they did break those rules, but honestly, I don't know anything. I don't know if they're even guilty of this, because UEFA said that they weren't. But the Premier League also have 4 years of apparent research about this, so it's like there's no smoke without a fire, right? So I'm just gonna keep my powder dry until there is a verdict and we can see. I mean, how much money were they allegedly, getting from these sponsorships, and whatnot? Who knows? Maybe it's only like £5 million. Maybe it's 700 million. Who knows? Like, I think it for me, I'll have like a full opinion, I guess, until I won't have a full opinion. I can't talk today. I won't have a full opinion on this until the verdict is actually reached and we can get some more details. But Yeah, they are ambitious, but sometimes when you're ambitious, you go way over the line, or of whatever the competition rules is. So, Philip, you've hacked me. Damn. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, I just think, we'll see what happens. That's all I can really. I don't know what's gonna happen. We'll see. It's gonna take a while, I think. Definitely agree with that. So.
Yeah, Kenny Ken. I know we've chatted about this briefly on. If it is true, if they are found guilty, do you actually? What do you think the punishment should be, or possibly will be?
Well, the thing is, I said yesterday to you anyway, like, money can buy you a lot of things. Money can't just buy you love; it can buy you a lot of good lawyers. A good lawyer, personally, would get a huge fine and get them what you suggested. Start the season. It won't affect the season, but what they do is that they will say, right, whatever season, maybe next season or the season afterwards, depends when the investigation said, right, we're going to give you a 10-point fine, which means you start the thing 10 points behind. But you know what the City would do? They'll fight it and get it down to at least 5 points, because everyone thinks this is a new thing for the Premier League. It isn't. Remember, they had the same sort of thing with Spurs, where in nearly 30 years ago, where Spurs were, it wasn't on the scale Man City were doing, but Spurs were basically giving their players illegal loans in order for them to sort of like dodge pay their tax bills, or just help them get homes, which was illegal and wasn't contravened not just Premiership rules, but it contravened the Football League rules. And they've doing it for years, a lot longer than City were doing it. We got City have been charged from 2009 to 2018. So clearly they clean up their act, or maybe that's as far as the Premiership can go. But the fact is that the Premiership lost that. They made a decision, Alan Shearer got it overturned. So even if Man City do get some sort of indemnity, they will fight an expulsion, and they will definitely fight a points thing, and they'll probably win on that, because the fact of the matter is it's the Premiership, because at the end of the day, it's again Premiership rules on what they will do and whether they go to arbitration. A lot of fans are saying, well, they can't do it, it's not going to be allowed. Look, the laws are you get lawyers to challenge their rulings, and I think that, let's face it, I'm old-fashioned. I think the Man City have been the best team of their generation on the pitch, and they've had the best manager who got players to do it on the pitch. How they've done it, I've just put my hands up in it, and I think that, regardless of whatever money they spent and how they spent it, they still got the best facilities, they still got the best players, they still got the best manager, and the best way to beat Man City is not through the court, it's on the pitch. Like, the piper for a lot of football fans is Sir Alex Ferguson. Even though we don't like Man United, the fact is that he saw off Chelsea's Romans billions. He saw off Sheikh Mansour's billions as well by actually doing it on the pitch and winning. Never say, oh, it's Man United, a big club, but it can be done. Liverpool tried to do it organically and try to beat them, and I think we're trying to do it now. That's the best way to do it, because the fact is that it's not right. But I can guarantee you, there's a few clubs in the Premiership who've been doing it as well. Probably not on the Man City scale, but they have. What Man City have been guilty of more than anything is to not, despite having all the money, they haven't done it organically. They tried to accelerate the process, and that's what's got them in this amount of trouble. And I think that's what will probably get the Premiership to compromise. I think there's going to be a compromise in terms of what punishments are going to be acceptable to both parties, because Man City, I can't see Man City fighting maybe a few points deduction. I could see him fighting 10. I can see him fighting expulsion. They're definitely going to fight that all the way. Definitely.
I'm curious. Sorry.
Sorry. No, I'm just saying that's what I think. Yeah.
I was just wanting, because one of the things that got the Martin Ziegler guy said, or one of the things I've been hearing this, that they can't go to the court of arbitration for sport. So I'm wondering, where would they appeal it to? Because this isn't a Man City did something illegal. It's Man City violated, it looks like from the Premier League, 100 times, 100 rules, whatever you want to call it, of a competition. So it's not like illegal what they did. So they can't go, and that's what the Court of Arbitration for Sport is, right? It does have to do with law, and obviously if there is illegal stuff, you know, if the player's not getting paid, and I'm sure that, you know, whatever. But if they can't go to a Court of Arbitration for Sport, does this go to a European, what's it called? Some sort of higher court? Or does it go to Supreme Court? Who knows? You know what I'm saying?
I think, Steve, what they'll do is that they're going to suspend this. Whatever the ruling, they'll challenge that ruling. And if that ruling gets challenged, then they delay it because it's of course. So what will happen? They'll carry on as normal. Like for instance, this season, there's absolutely no way that they're going to do anything this season. It's not happening. You'll be very. I'll be surprised. I'll be shocked if it's anything before November. This calendar year.
I think you're right. And also, sorry, I'm talking a lot, but the 4 years Premier League took to investigate it, I'm sure Man City will be like, we can play this game too with time. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I want to come over to Kyle. Kyle, what's your view on this Man City supposed? It's only alleged breaking of 101 Premier League rules, and very timely. We've got Mr B has joined us, which is we're going to talk about Brentford next. So, Kyle.
Yeah, James, I think that if they're found guilty, they have to be made an example of. But people are saying about relegation. How do you relegate a club of Man City stature? Because look at the amount of revenue they're bringing into the Premier League on a yearly basis, every season. You know what I mean? So it's not as simple as just saying, "Oh, relegate them." Personally speaking, if they are found guilty, I would relegate them. But that's not going to happen. And as well as that, this case could go on for a couple of years. This is not going to be just overnight. This is going to take a long period of time because Man City will get they could have 20 of the best lawyers working for them as we speak. So they're not stupid. So if they are found guilty, Jays, I think they'll probably end up getting deduction of points and a heavy fine. But like Gracie-Mae said, what's the point in fining a club like Man City? Sure, it's like they're worth billions. So where do you go? What do you do?
It's like if I took $5 out of your pocket, Kyle. Like I'm assuming you have a job and a salary, like $5. So it's like $5 out of however much you have. I'm assuming.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's what it would be like. Yeah.
What kind of punishment do you give a club of that stature? So it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen. And also, if they are found guilty, Pep Guardiola said he'd walk away straight away. So that's another thing to keep an eye on. And then if they are relegated, how are they going to keep on to the other top players? So it's an interesting thing. It's going to take a while, so keep a close eye on it, I suppose. None of us can say what's going to happen. But we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
But by the way, this is the top of Man City. But you think about it, lads, especially Jason Kenny, going back in the older days. Football the last 20 years, it's not a sport anymore, it's a business. There's no playing field. Like Manchester United, let's not forget, Man United bought the league back in the 90s with Rio Ferdinand. They paid 35 million at the time for Rio Ferdinand. So this has been happening for the last 20 years. Chelsea, how many billions have they spent? So
you can
let's keep an eye on the situation.
I said to Lee and Kenny the other day, don't throw stones if you live in a glass house, because I tell you what, I wouldn't say the Cronkies are all that bloody honest.
No, Jace, there's none of them Premier League teams honest. There have to be. There's corruption in every club if you look into it. So I think if Man City is found guilty, I think they have to look into other clubs as well.
I don't doubt they will be. Anyway, we've got Mr B4 Life just on time to talk about that. We've got Brentford at the weekend. Mr B4 Life, how you doing?
I don't think
I don't think he's here.
he was. He might have
Hang on.
got hacked. God damn it.
Jez, sorry, I'm gonna have to go because I've got a meeting in 5 minutes.
Yeah, you carry on, Gracie. Thanks
That's
for
virtual,
you.
but sorry, it was a
Well,
short
Gracie,
one.
don't leave a mic out, will you?
No, I've got to go do a meeting, but
thanks for kicking out the idiot.
no worries. I'll keep an eye.
Yeah, I see you having fun and games with that bloke. He's a bit of a prick, wasn't he? Yeah.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's entertainment for me. It's a good thing to laugh about in the evening. And apparently we will all be arrested in a minute, so
Ooh.
I better go to my meeting. So
right, Gracie.
see you all soon.
Take
See you,
care,
Gracie. Take care.
Mr B4 Life. Good to have you on, man. And,
Yeah, good to be here, mate. Yeah, so I've been having problems trying to get on here. I don't know what it is, man.
It happens sometimes, mate. I got kicked out
Yeah.
tonight, so there we go. Anyway, we're going to talk about Brentford. We've got Brentford this weekend.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you think it's going to be easy, do you? No way.
I'm not saying that. How do you see it going, mate?
Well, I'd like to say that we can beat you, and I really hope we can, but, you know, I mean, it is at the Emirates, isn't it? So, but I still think we've got a good chance. I really do. But, you know, I think you probably will just about beat us in the end, probably about 2-1 or something, something like that. But I think we'll give you a good game again, like we always do, you know. So.
Absolutely. Are you going to the game, mate?
No, mate, no. I mainly go to the home ones, really. So I went to the last one that we sort of won, but, you know, yeah, so we're going well at the moment anyway. I think we can get to Europe, you know, as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, man.
Kenny, you'll be at the game.
Yeah, I was
Kenny.
How you doing, B4 Life? I was at your ground.
Yeah, all right, mate.
For the free when you beat in September. Let's just say the Wi-Fi weren't great around Hounslow at the time. But one thing I do like about Brentford is that, you know, I think there's a clutch of clubs in that sort of top 6 and top 7 who, you know, you're competing with. You know, Fulham are doing well as well. That's a bit of a derby for yourself, and obviously, you know, you've got you know, like yourselves there. So I look at the whole situation. One of the things I do fear about Brentford is that when you do go on a counter attack, you get numbers forward. I think if you score when you're on top, then we're going to have a bit of problems, because there were instances last season at the Emirates when you had a good period, but you couldn't put the ball in it. And I think that's what you've been doing a lot in the games.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially at Man City's ground, and especially when you're playing the big teams, your ground, is that you're scoring at the right times when you're on top, and it makes it so hard for teams to get back in games. You know, what we did with you at your ground is that when we shut the door by scoring early and then making ourselves difficult to beat, and that's one of the things why you don't take Brentford lightly. Man City took you lightly just before the World Cup. Look what happened there. You could have won 3. Tony missed a chance to get his hat-trick. So it's a game that we want to win, but I'm not going to put my house in it and thinking, you know, that it's going to be easy, because we know exactly how Brentford are going to do it. I could just see the counter attack. Tony, you know, like Mbuemo, Silva, you know, getting all their bodies forward, and you know, and that's something you know you tend to do really well. And then set pieces as well. You're really, you know, with me as well. So I look at it and think, you know what, this is going to be. We're going to come to the pitch with our tongues on the floor, knowing we've been in our game either way, whether it's win, lose, or draw. Yeah, mate. Yeah, no worries. You know, what about if we do sting you again this time? You know, I bet like when we beat you in that first game, wasn't it? You know, back when we was in the Premier in the first season.
Yeah. Yeah,
I won about $400 off that win, by the way, because I smelled an Arsenal defeat. I remember that game so well. Oh, great performance, Brentford. Oh my God. Mr. B, I have this. I'm sorry, I just wanted to put this in here about Brentford. I think you guys, I've believed this for probably about a year now, just seeing how you guys have progressed. I think before you guys go down, number one, I think you are going to be a stable Premier League club for years and years and years to come. I think you'll either win a cup or go to Europe before you go down again. How do you see that?
Cheers, Steve. Yeah. I kind of agree with that, man. Yeah, we are going to win something at some stage. I mean, you know, if we can get into Europe, you know, we'll have a great chance there, I reckon. But there might be like a League Cup maybe sometime. I think the FA Cup's beyond us, to be honest. But you know, obviously we're out of them this season, unfortunately. But you know, I think maybe next season there could be a chance.
Yeah, that's a good point. Kyle, Brentford, we've got them this weekend. How do you see it going, my friend?
Yeah, I'm quite worried, Jace, to be quite honest. I think Brentford plays good football. They're a good attacking side. They're not afraid. They won't be intimidated. They're quite pacey, quite strong. Good manager. They'll come to the Emirates with a game plan. I think this is a tricky game. And this is the reason why I went mad about the Everton game, Jace, because Brentford is not going to be a pushover. But for me and the standards that I have for my club, this is a game that we have to win. And as far as I'm concerned, if we don't win this game, I'm saying goodbye to the league title. And that's how big of a game I feel this is. Because we have Man City on Wednesday. So if Brentford does us and then Man City does us, now it's a different game. Now it's a different league table.
Yeah, good. So, very good point.
Big game. But Mr. B, you're playing great stuff, and I am concerned.
Cheers, Cole. Thanks, man. Thanks, mate. It's brilliant. Thank you. Yeah, we are doing well. Sorry, Jez, mate. Let you carry on. Sorry.
No, you carry on. No, I mean, I think Brentford have done exceptionally well. I just say this one, Luca. Thoughts on Kroenke increasing prices, mate? If you Kenny explained it a little bit earlier in the show, so if you rewind a little bit backwards, you'll find out actually what it's all about. I didn't know, and Kenny explained it very well. So we're going to wrap this up in a minute, guys. And last few.
Jez, sorry, mate. Is it all right if I just put a question out there? Yeah, I want to see if anyone might know this in the live chat or even on the panel here. Does anyone know how we got our nickname, the Brentford nickname?
No, I don't.
We need to
know that. We need to know that.
Something in the 1920s, right?
Yeah. Well, it was 1890s actually.
Okay, off by 30 years.
Yeah.
Claim that.
I don't know. Go on, mate.
If anyone come on in the live chat there and knows anything, you know, but I'll give the answer obviously at the end of this anyway. But it'd be interesting to see if anyone might know that. You know, it's quite an interesting fact, really. But you know, if anyone could come up with that, please let me know. You know.
I think I know something vaguely. It was a nickname given to you. I'm pretty sure you. Oh God, did you beat a fellow London club bad, and they were like got stung by bees? Wasn't it in a newspaper?
No, that's nothing to do with that, mate. No.
Okay, then I don't know. Then that was my only idea.
I ain't got a clue. No.
Well, we'll see if anyone comes out with it in the live chat. If not, I'll give you the answer anyway. So no worries, you know. Sorry, Jez. Sorry, mate. You want to carry on? Sorry about that.
Good That's trivia, right. Though.
That's right. Mm-hmm. I was going to say that it looks like Lloris from Tottenham, Spurs, goalkeeper is out for 6 to 8 weeks.
Ooh.
That is a major.
They'll have a better chance now, wouldn't they?
He hasn't really been playing well, and it gives Forster's like an experienced goalkeeper, gives him a bit of a chance, but it's with his feet though, isn't it? Lloris is even though he gets caught out a few times, he does get the ball moving with his feet, and I think that's where teams can go at Tottenham. But to be honest, you know, by beating Man City, they've left themselves with an outside chance of getting top four because of the fact that they're they're not too many points between Newcastle and Man United. But Man United going a run, I think it's going to situation. It's going to be probably between themselves, Newcastle, and you never know. You know, Newcastle drop a lot of points, but they don't get beat. Teams again, like it's Brentford need to start winning their away games. So do Fulham. You never know, man, because you like to think that, you know, if Brentford, you know, tailor off and Fulham tailor off, that lets in Chelsea and Liverpool back into the European places. So you've got to think about that one.
Yeah, fair point.
Yeah, I'm tipping Newcastle for fourth, by the way, in the Premiership. I think they get fourth, you know.
So that's what I said after we beat Spurs.
Yeah. And the League Cup, I think you'll get a League Cup as well. I think you'll definitely win that. So
I'm looking forward to that game, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kenny, you've been watching the cricket, mate, by the way.
Yes, so I think. Well, we're watching a bit of cricket. We've got, it's on BT Sport. You know, New Zealand Test, it's 2 Test series. You know, it's going to be.
I'll be watching that.
Yeah, because Bazball, because, you know, like McCallum, he's going back to his own country. Ben Stokes, even though we see him as England's hero, he's like I said, he's a New Zealander at heart, probably at birth as well. So it's going to be a good series. And I think it's going to be attacking cricket. So I'm looking forward to that big time.
What did you make of the South Africa one? Did you think that was good, or you done all right there?
I don't think England are going to retain the World Cup, the 50 over World Cup. I can't see it happening. I think in India, I don't think with the pitches being on a slow side and low and slow, I can't see England playing attacking cricket. The attacking cricket they'll like. I can see, I think maybe the Aussies have a chance, but maybe, might have a chance. Or maybe New Zealand might win their first, like I said, tournament, because they've been in quite a lot of finals. Remember, New Zealand are the World Test champions as well. So,
good team, though, aren't they? Good team.
Yeah.
New Zealand.
Yeah, they are.
I just want to ask.
Yeah, you got women's as well. Women's coming up, isn't it? As well. So.
Yeah, it's Friday in South Africa, the T20. Australia win that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was watch paint dry myself, but there you go.
I'm not making an assumption of that. Jess hates cricket. I don't know what Steve and Cole think about it.
Yeah. What's wrong with him, man?
I love tennis, rugby, football, obviously, snooker. I love all sports, but cricket is one sport I cannot stand.
All of a sudden it's a cricket stream now.
I can assure you it ain't. Not on here. Would you guys want Qatar to buy Arsenal Football Club? Hypothetical question. Kyle, what's your view on that, mate?
Well, I think, James, to be honest, if Man City is able to spend all that kind of money on players, and now there's talk about Manchester United getting bossed, and Chelsea have the billions there. I know Kroenke has for billions as well, but yeah, why not? Why not?
So, by the way, Mama's got it, by the way, Mama Flossie. She's got it right. About the nickname. So,
yeah, she's a clever lady, man.
She's got it right.
Well done, Mama.
Well done, Flossie.
Well, Mama.
Nice one, Flossie.
Would you like a Qatar owner?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'll take him all day long, because I think what's happened is that, the fact is that people just assume that it's the players that they buy, these big owners. What they do is that they get the best people in every position. For instance, off the pitch, they get the best people. They get who's the best one who's in charge of transfers. Oh, we get him because we can afford him. Who's the director of finance? director of football, who's the best director. Oh, we get him. Who's what's Chelsea's trainer like? Oh, that's a bit. Oh, yeah, we'll copy that. So they're going to spend money off the field, and then our academy's good, but they'll make it better because they'll spend more money on it. So the reason why I'll take the money is not just because I think that they're going to get the best players and the best manager. Off the pitch, they're going to make us stronger as well, because you can get all these managers and players. If you're weak off the field, you ain't winning trophies. I don't care what no one says, and that's why Man City and Chelsea are strong on the pitch, because they're strong off it. Newcastle will be strong on the pitch when they're on the pitch, when they're strong off pitch. It's facts. You can just go and look at Chelsea, look at how they've conducted their business, look at Man City, how they conducted their business, albeit, there's some hanging over it. The fact is that if you go to you check out Man City's facilities and you go Man United's facilities, there's a gap in there. You check out Chelsea's facilities all over with a new, that's why I want their money, because I think that the Cronkies haven't got unlimited funds. These guys got unlimited funds, and as long as they keep their interest, we'll be up there. And because we tried doing it organically, but it's a slow process, very slow.
Just to answer the question put in there by Cyborg Ninja, Gracie has reported that Pete Hayward, it's the same guy. Pete Hayward is the same. Philip, and she has.
Philip Edwards, isn't it? Yeah.
It's the same fella. And basically, YouTube done nothing because he threatened her on her show. I mean, YouTube are
total melt, mate. He's a total melt. He shouldn't be on here.
He's a little prick.
It's sad though, isn't it? Because what's that? One of my mates. So one of my mates grew up with on the manor in East, in Islington. One thing he said about me, about all the stuff I was doing, he says, remember one thing, they know you, you don't know them. You don't know what any of these guys look like. They can come up to you, and then if they're off that disposition, you could be on the floor, or you could be having hospital treatment, and you won't even know who done it to you. But you only find that when they come online and say, "Gotcha." It's sometimes when these guys make threats, especially against Gracie, even though Gracie can, stick up for herself, she doesn't know what Pete Hayward looks like. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, it could be anyone, couldn't it?
Yeah, he's got to find her first. But
that's the thing.
It is what it is. And she's nowhere. I don't even know where that idiot lives, but it is a sad thing. I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. I just want to say, Oregon Guna has gifted Jaminio with a 1 month's membership. Oregon Guna, you're a legend. It doesn't show on here, and we don't know why. I asked Lee, who's far more seasoned at this, but for some reason these things don't show up on StreamYard. You can only see them on YouTube, exactly that site. Static says, Jez, I was actually joking, but if Pete Hayward and Philip Edwards are the same person, he is, mate. It's the same guy. He's got loads of accounts. He's a complete prick.
Lives in his basement, got sticky sheets and all that,
Mama Flossie sums it up right here.
The thing is, he comes on and watches. He was in that chat before the stream started for half an hour. He was there for the chat for half an hour, and that only helps the channel grow bigger. So I haven't got a problem with it. I just laugh at them. I really do just laugh. Anyway, guys,
what's that, Jez? Sorry.
Shout your channel out, mate. Where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Strasbourg Steve on YouTube. I'm doing a watch along in 50 odd minutes for Olympique de Marseille versus Paris Saint-Germain, Coupe de France, one of the biggest derbies in world football. And it's not one of these friendly, cuddly ones. No, it's these guys. No, seriously, these guys do not like each other. Marseille and Paris fans play. It's gonna be red cards, yellow. It's gonna be a nasty one. So I'm looking forward to it. Really looking forward to that. So check it live on 3 if anyone's interested. So yeah, that's what I got going on. But
Kenny
yeah.
Ken,
Yeah, man.
where can we find you on Insta, mate?
You, at Kenny Ken 1972, have a good time talking about football. You know, talking about everything that happens in football. It's not just Arsenal. It's all I've got an interest and knowledge of every Premiership club, the history, and other bits of football as well. You know, there's every talking points about football. I haven't really spoken too much about the Man City thing because it's not really my island, and any other stuff about, you know, anything avoid including court cases. Sorry, I'm running away from that. You let the lawyers deal with it. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, regardless of whether I have an opinion or not, the lawyers are more qualified than me to comment on any sort of process. I don't have an opinion on it, and even if the verdicts come out, I think people really want to talk about the matches and about what's going on the field. They don't want to hear about that thing. Leave that to other people.
I totally agree with that. It'll be what it will be. Kyle, shout your show out, mate. If you haven't subscribed to Kyle, go and subscribe. He's got some interesting stuff.
Yeah, I'll have to do that.
He's very
This guy's passionate, isn't he? Passionate about Arsenal, isn't he, Kyle?
Yeah, very passionate. Always was passionate from the very beginning up to now. So that's just the way I am. I speak with passion. I speak how I feel.
Man. It's good. I like that. Brilliant.
Sometimes I might be wrong, but I am what I am. So you get me on Kai Walsh Gunner. That's the channel, and plenty of content going out. And big up to you, Jace, for having me on your show. Always a privilege. And Steve-O and Kenny Kane. I'll see you soon. And
you see me You send me in 3 weeks' time, won't you? You send me in 3 weeks' time yourself and Del Boy.
Del Boy, yeah.
You
won't be staying in the same. Would you be staying in the same hotel? You'd be staying in the same hotel.
The Queen's Hotel up there at 12 pins.
Oh, I know those ones opposite. That's in the Hackney part of Finsbury Park.
Yeah, you go up the green, the park there, the green up after 12 pins on the left hand side. It's opposite that, the Queen Hotel.
Yeah, all right,
we can meet up. You tell us where to meet you, and we go down and meet you wherever you.
Oh, don't worry. I got a good way of surprising people. I've actually gone up to people. I always say to people, "Give me your seat number, and I'll come and find you." And I do. They don't forget to turn up. I turn up.
And then they're shitting themselves, aren't they? Yeah.
Because you know what it is that all the people I've met before games, surprised, they're always in the gods. And I'm for a big lad. I hate heights. I don't know how you guys watching from those great heights. You're walking down there, that gives me the shakes and everything. I'm sure you're in the upper tier somewhere, Carl.
Yeah, we're down at the clock end, Kenny Kane. That's what we want to be, down at the clock end.
You're upper tier though, aren't you?
Sorry?
You're in the upper tier.
Upper tier, yeah, that's what we'll be.
Knew it.
Up in the gods.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, I'll see you soon. But yeah, thanks for having me on, Jess.
It's a pleasure, guys. Pleasure. Mr. B, where can we find you, mate? Shout yourself out. You just
well, basically, I am on Insta now. I'm not really happy about it because I don't really like it much, to be honest. But I'm on there. I'm not bigging it up, but unfortunately. But I'm a Bees fan forever on there. Is actually my name on there. Also on Twitter, I'm not giving that out on there. Even though I'm on there, I go on there a lot. But that's basically it. Thanks for letting me on here, Jez. Sorry I was late, man, coming on and having problems, obviously, trying to get on here. And I want to get one of them mugs, mate. Can you send me one of them mugs?
I'll sort that out. I'll contact you on Insta so you can send me a private email.
No worries, man.
And
yeah, definitely.
I've got all the bloody hell. All the cardboard, you can't see all the cardboard boxes now to send them out. So I've got
cool.
Post them out.
Good stuff.
Well, is postage free or do you pay for that as well? Postage.
I've got a quote today. In the UK, it's £4.80 tracked. That's Royal Mail tracked.
Oh, that ain't bad. That ain't bad, is it?
I think to Ireland it's 5:20. I can't send them international at the moment because the Royal Mail are not posting international to the world because of what happened. They got hacked and whatever. So, but
right.
Philip at it again.
I've got 4 I've got into the States, and I've got 1 that's got to go to Spain. So as soon as I can send them, I'll send them. But it won't be for a while, unfortunately. But I'm going to end it there, guys. So I'll do the outro, and then we'll call it a night. Thanks, Steve, Kenny,
Thank
Kyle,
you,
Mr B, and Gracie.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Thanks, everyone in the chat.
Next Wednesday will be no show. We're playing Man City next Wednesday.
Yeah, that's right. No show next week. But it's been a different one tonight with the idiot we had in here today. But it is what it is. But thanks all. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you're new, please give us a like. It does help. And we'll see you all soon.
Come on, everyone. Subscribe to Jezzy's channel. Come on, everyone.
I'm relieved to hear that you've been to some fireplaces. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. If I had seen such riches, I could